I don't have any idea what that is. What decision do you most dread making? So I'll read the quote again because I got distracted. Sorry, they're moving. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on outside, and I don't mean to. Yeah, don't be nervous. Just if anything, baby doll, if you are nervous, turn your comments off when you get in the box. Just you and me on FaceTime. We got this. Okay. Okay. All right. So read this quote one more time. If you want to make the right decision for the future, fear is not a very good consultant. What decision do you most dread making? I actually got this phone call yesterday. Change, yes, changing jobs, but I got that whole, like I keep getting things for my will. I still don't have a will, but it's not like I have a bunch of stuff, whatever. But I do want to get one just in case something happens before my daughter's 18, right? But for me, I got a phone call yesterday and they wanted me to start an investment on my burial site. I was like, wait, you guys call for that? Like, isn't there an age limit? Because, like, I don't think I plan on dying at least for, like, 20, 30 years, Like, that's my goal at least. I'm in my mid-40s, so, like, I understand that I have to think about it. But, God, I have to think about it, but I can't. Damn it, dude, thank you! I can't. See, I cannot not acknowledge that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, thank you guys. For me, I don't want to make any decisions about me not being here. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do while I'm here, right? So for me, that was kind of the phone call I got, and it was a huge reality check for me because I am coming up on that time. 44, I'll be 44 this year. I don't want to leave that burden on my family, but I'm also not going to accept some random person calling me from a foreign country talking about, let's talk about your burial site and get it started. No, how about when I'm ready for that, I'll go figure it out. But like right now is not the time. Like we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of our life. So that was my crap moment. And that's definitely a decision that I dread making. But I also know that I have to. Right? I haven't even hit retirement yet. Like, can we wait? Can we pause? But I do know, like I said, I don't want to leave, like, God forbid something crazy did happen. You know what I mean? I don't want to leave that on my family. But also, I can barely afford to stay alive and buy groceries that are healthy for my kid and I to eat, let alone my future burial site. How about we lower the prices of stuff and then we'll start figuring out where I'm going to spend my money? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't like any of that. Like, especially before a surgery. They're like, do you have your will? We're about to cut you open. Wait, what? I'll never forget the first time as an adult that they asked that. I will never forget that. Like, do you have a will? A will and testament, I think was her exact question. And I'm like, no. That is a conversation for after the show, but I was going to let him come back. I was going to have that discussion at 11:01. All right, so I don't see Taj. I could have missed him. I know Baby Doll's here. I know Baby Doll still needs a couple more minutes to wake up. She's nervous. So I'm going to, I guess, kind of talk for a few minutes. What do you guys, because my second guest isn't here, so I am filling in his time slot, and in that way we can finish the show with her. I always feel like a guest makes the conversation stronger, but also there's a lot of things that what topic do you want to discuss? Is there anything you guys are curious about? Do you have questions for me for streaming? We can discuss kind of whatever, right? Unfortunately, I have lived a life, some would say my way, right? And it is, which ended up most of the time being the hard way. So I've put myself through a lot of harsh lessons. How Josh misbehaves. Okay, so I actually can tell you why Josh is the way that he is. So the first 2.5 years of that poor dog's life, he was caged and beaten. He's never been around other dogs except for Stormy, which was my other old dog, right? So he's just never adapted. He's always been fearful. He's not mean. He's just, he reacts very, very quickly, you know? Can he have ice cream? I've never given him ice cream, but I give him lots of whipped cream. He likes whipped cream. And it's so funny watching him try to catch it from the can. When you spray it and his mouth, his jabs. It's so funny. I'll have to get some and show you guys one of these days. So, you know, not all dogs that we tell you are unfriendly. It's not because they're a mean, aggressive dog. It's because they lived a crappy life and they're terrified of you. Like, let's just be honest, you know? And that's what his thing is. Because the only times he's ever nipped at me is when I was yelling at him and I scared him, you know? And so I'm not mad at him for that. He's taught me to calm down and he's taught me a lot of patience. If you guys have never owned a pet, they are a lot of work. Pets are not something you just get and feed and, you know, they're there. You did your hair. All right, what other topics do you guys want to discuss? We can talk about... Oh, you know what? I got an idea. Let's talk about excuses. Do you know what an excuse is like? An excuse is generally like a butthole. It generally stinks and everyone has them. As with opinions too, you know, people's opinions. But I say this because I was listening to a very nice gentleman earlier and he's hit some rough spots. But every time one of us gave a solution, a recommendation, or a workaround, there was another excuse. And I felt as though I wanted to say, but I didn't because I don't know him that well yet. But like, I kind of just wanted to tell him excuses are like buttholes, you know? Everyone's got them, they usually stink, but you can't allow excuses to control your life because you are ultimately allowing fear to control your life. Things like excuses are more so fear-based for me, and my personal destination is because I fear failure. So if I don't put all of my effort into it, I already assume I'm going to fail, so I'm not as disappointed in myself. And I didn't know, I guess that's probably how I could have said it, but I didn't know how to say that in the moment because you guys know me. If you've taken any time to get to know me, I don't have that ability to sugarcoat stuff, right? I'm not good at it. My kid hates me for it because I don't baby her in any way because it's just not my nature. So I have learned to keep my mouth shut until I figured out how to word things. But if you're somebody that I really care about, I'll be your mean friend. I have no problem. I have no problem telling you that you're full of crap. If you don't want to talk to me anymore, that's fine. I probably didn't need you around anyways. If you're not willing to make the changes and you're not willing to accept that there's realistically 3 things we're promised in life, okay? You ready? Birth, consistent change, and death. That's all we're promised. Because we're not mean, we're honest. And not a lot of people know how to be honest with people these days. There's too many people with such high anxiety that they've become people pleasers. Therefore, they're too afraid to go out of their comfort zone. They're too afraid to put themselves out there. So, you know what I mean? You can't allow yourself to be run by excuses. You have to figure out why you're making those excuses. And for me, it's because I was afraid to fail. So if I knew if I didn't put everything into it, that I wasn't going to be as successful. You know what I mean? So I never put myself out there enough. I have in the last, 5-6 years or whatever, but I never put myself out there because I assumed I was going to fail. So I set myself up for failure before I even tried. Hello? Quit being your own worst enemy. Wake up in there. I deserve these new things. I deserve opportunities. I deserve better chances, right? The hell am I doing holding my own self back? The rest of this damn world is mean enough. Why am I holding myself back? Why can't I accept that if I put in a little bit more work over here that I can have the things I want? Why can't I wake up at that hour earlier and start doing my workout? I know I'm going to feel better all the way around the clock. But I'm afraid that I'm going to fail at it again and just end up where I'm at again, so I don't try again. So being bullied taught me to stand out. I used to try to be a wallflower, and I'm still not like at the beginning of big events. You're not going to see me in the middle of the dance floor. You're not going to see me bouncing around every table until I'm comfortable with my surroundings, right? So being bullied made me more aware of what my surroundings were. But if nothing else, it made me realize that it does not matter what I do. Okay. Right. I can be called the Oompa Loompa of the world, right? I'm going to lose the weight. Okay. I've lost the weight. I've got the perfect body. Okay. Well, now someone doesn't like my purple hair. So now I got to change my hair. Well, now someone doesn't like my eye color. Someone doesn't like my lipstick. Someone doesn't like my outfits. There's something about you that people are always going to have something to say, right? But here's what you have to remember. Hurt people. And if someone's coming at you, whatever comes out of their mouth negative is something they see in themselves. Okay? Like, all right, I'm going to tell you my example of one of the things I used to do before I realized how shallow it was, okay? When I was younger, and I was much larger than what I am now, I would see folks in shape. I would see a thin girl with, perfect little body. But instead of using that to focus to change myself, okay, do you hear how I said that? Instead of using my energy to focus on the things I need to change about myself, I decide in my pea brain that I'm going to insult your beauty because it makes me uncomfortable. And I would rather you eat a cheeseburger than me eat a salad. Wait, what? What? What kind of nonsense is that? Who the hell am I to insult somebody who cares enough about their body to take care of it? Right? It's my fault. At this age, I'm in charge of what I eat. I'm in charge of what goes in my mouth, which means I'm in charge of the weight that I've gained. Okay, which means I should eat better and I should go to the gym. But instead, I sit here and I watch all these thin, pretty girls run around the world, and I'm like, I'm so jealous. Like, I don't insult them, right? But I'm like, God, I wonder if there's a surgery I could have that would permanently make me look like that, right? Like I'm giving myself excuses or other ways to achieve it without the work that I could just put in, and 6 months to a year from now I could have everything I wanted. But I'd rather sit here and boo-hoo, you know, rather boo-hoo myself to boredom. And that then gets frustrating. And then if I stay in that mindset, I will actually start to insult people in my head, not out loud. Great boobs, but her ass is kind of flat. Bitch, you have no right to talk about her like that. None. But I will say shit like that in my head because I've become more and more and more insecure with myself. So I've worked on it. I've learned from it, right? But in the past, my young self, that was how I thought. You know? Ew, guys. No more of that. No more excuses. No more blaming other people for your inability to get off your own ass. No more excuses because you can't do the things you used to be able to do. One of the excuses that I used, or one of the examples I used is how the gentleman had said something about how he just can't do what he used to do. Like, no shit. Shoot. Sorry. I'm sorry. No shoot. I used to be able to lift full pieces of drywall above my head, hold it with one hand and screw it in. Now I barely can lift it off the damn ground. But I have to accept that, make the changes necessary if that's something I want to continue to do. Right? It's an easy fix. Couple $100, I buy the drywall lift and boom, you know, sheetrock, whatever you guys want to call it. Right? Instead of just giving up, I have to find a way to make it work. The old me would have just quit. Oh, I can't do it by myself anymore. Ew! Find a way. If you have time to make an excuse, you have time to find a solution. If you have time to make excuses, you have time to find solutions. Period. I mean, if I'm wrong, you guys can speak up. That's fine. But in my own personal opinion, that's how life is. If you're unhappy, you have to make the changes. If you're looking for something new, you have to make the changes. You know, you want to, you know, I don't know, you want a more toned booty? Hit the stairs. Leave the cheeseburger on Tuesdays and Thursdays and grab a chicken salad, right? I'm not saying, and by no means will I ever cut out French fries or ice cream or super buttery, cheesy popcorn. I like Parmesan cheese on my popcorn. I'll never. But I no longer make a huge pot of it and eat the whole thing. I make like a quarter of a pot, which should be a serving, and then I don't overeat, right? If I want ice cream, I'm going to eat some ice cream, period. But I'm not going to eat half of the carton anymore, which I used to do. So it's not about losing all the things that you have now to make changes, but you have to make changes. You have to let go of some of the old to make room for the new. If you're feeling stuck, you have to make changes to feel unstuck. My change now, storage unit, so I can get all this stuff out of my living room, right? And then I have a peaceful place to sit. Making changes. I don't like it. I don't want to have to pay that money to like whatever, but these are the changes I have to make in order for me to be happy. And I know once I get that out of here, it's going to change a whole lot of other stuff because that is 80% of my anxiety. So it might have taken me a long time for me to actually realize that because, of course, you know, self-denial. I'll be fine. It's not the problem. It's something else. No, it's all that. It's just that right there. So although excuses come easy and fighting for what you want is hard, you have to look at yourself in the mirror at the end of every day. When you're laying on your deathbed, what ifs do you not want to have to be ifs? How many what ifs I had done that are you going to have? Or how much experience are you going to have had? They're all your choices, guys. It is all what you pick to do with yourself. It is all your destination that you choose. There's nobody else in this world that's going to make things happen for you. I mean, when you're a kid, maybe, but we're adults now. There is not going to be a single person to hold your hand and make you get through things, you know? But if you want something, you got to work for it. I want to not be an adult too. I have asked for like 2 years now if somebody will adopt me. No one will take me. So here I am, still adulting. 7 darn days a week. I want to go back to my biggest decision was, am I going to the football game Friday night, or do I have to work in my 4-hour shift? Yes, Joe, I did hear that. And we can talk about this at 11 o'clock, Joe. This is a featured show. So if you guys are just tuning in, this is Lessons Learned. I am Silly Lily, and we are about to get Baby Doll in the box here in a few minutes. I've kind of been talking about excuses and why they suck, and how if you want things to change, you have to put in the work. That's kind of been my lesson this week. Talked about the most dreaded decision, you know. Joe, I said 11 o'clock. The next comment off topic will be a cause for removal from the stream till the show's over. So please respect that for me. Or now. just during the featured show, guys. Like, you got to understand, like, I have certain rules I have to follow. When y'all come at me with a topic that I'm about to rip your head off with because I believe so strongly in the opposite opinions, I can't because, like, that could be a whole other topic. What's the American dream? Somebody tell me what the American dream is. American dream is to find a job you love and live a happy life doing what you love around people you love. Pretty much, right? No wars, no fighting, no nothing, right? Like, that's ultimately our dream. That's the American dream. Well, guess what? That is not how we live. We literally live to work. We are barely surviving and getting by. All the meanwhile, people who have come undocumented and not properly are living the high life for free $99. I have no problem with people coming in and doing legal stuff. I have no problem with immigration. I believe that most people deserve a fair chance, but not criminals. I don't want criminals coming over here. Period. I don't want the DRUGSs coming in here. Period. I want to have my daughter have a safe place to grow up. So I am not mad at a lot of those changes. Not even in the slightest. All right, guys. So self-care, self-love, and then in just a couple minutes, Baby Doll, you are going to hop in the box, okay? Self-care tip number 1, drink your water. I showed last night that episode about water and how purified water is the worst and we shouldn't drink it because it literally pulls minerals from our body that we need. I've been screaming this crap to you for years. Drink your spring water. I missed it, sorry. Being wintertime, try to get outside if you can. You know, we all need the sunshine in our life. What about fluoride? Fluoride's not in spring water. In tap water, I said drink spring water, right? The amount of fluoride in tap water is not good for us. That is why I will repeat myself one last time. You should drink spring water. I mean, I don't think I can make that any more clear. Yeah, don't drink water, Tom. See how good that goes for your intestines. You do what you got to do, buddy. Yeah, so for those of you guys that don't know, purified water looks for minerals. Okay? So if you are drinking all purified water is boiled tap water, pretty much. So like Cross Audio again. I've not had one featured show that has been decent in it's been forever. Yeah, you've got, well, and that's why you want it's not so much the salt. I mean, there's definitely salt in most foods that we eat. And you don't need a lot, but if you just drink the spring water, like if it comes from a natural spring, it's a TDS, it's a level of TDS, total dissolved, I don't know, but the higher the TDS, the more nutritional value it has. So much so that there's spring waters with such high TDSs that it's almost like an Alka-Seltzer. It's a medication for the body. It's a healing. It's a healing water at that point. Autocorrect hates me a lot of days too. So yeah, water and what kind of water we drink. And I, like he said on this show, it's crazy how our bodies are damn near 70% water and we all have to consume it regularly, but nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. But purified or distilled water will pull minerals from your body that your body needs because they've taken all of them out. Pineapples are great. So pineapple is a natural anti-inflammatory. And if you mix fresh, it has to be fresh pineapple juice with honey, it is the best cough medicine you will ever have. Thank me later. Get a job. All right, baby doll, are you ready? All right, here we go, guys.
Okay.
Hello. Thank you for being on my show. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know how to start this. Do I say my name and what I do, or like how do I do this?
You're all right. So I guess more or less we do more about you at the end. So it tends to get people to stick around longer for you. So I'm just going to say that I want you to share with these guys what topic we're going to be discussing.
Okay.
Why you picked it.
I'm going to be sharing the off-grid living, and I'm choosing that because that's what I do, and not many people that I know of do it also. Um, when I say off-grid, I don't mean like you don't have cell phones or internet, because that's just crazy. But some people do it.
Yeah.
So I started off living in a city. I was born and raised in Chicago, a very crappy town, well, city. And I say about 3 years ago, I moved to the country and I started doing research on ways to live without having to spend money. Because who likes spending money? I don't. So I did a lot of research, and there's ways that you can get fresh water. I get my water from the rain. Every time it rains, or if it doesn't rain, you can go down to the river or whatnot, and you can use a trash pump to collect water. And basically, it goes in my 2,500-gallon black tank. That's all the collected water, and it goes into a filter system, which I think it filters 3 or 4 times into clean water, clean enough where you can drink it, you shower with it. It's like the best water you can drink. It's so clean. Um, I get my electricity from the solar panels and from a windmill. I do the windmill because not every day will it be sunny, so there is days where you won't be able to get any electric, so you use wind. Um, Once I get a bigger property, and hopefully there's a creek where running water is, because you can get electricity from water too. I believe it's called hydro something. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can't think of what it is, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I plan on doing that, just having multiple sources of each type of source, like electricity and water and whatnot. I grow my food because, like you said earlier, in grocery stores, there's barely anything that's healthy enough for you to eat. Everything is bioengineered and has a whole bunch of just bull in it. Um, so I grow my own food. I process my own chickens. I'm not on a big enough property yet to have cows and goats and whatnot, but eventually I will get there. Um,
So what do you grow? Like what do you like and where well first question, what are you in, like a northern or southern climate? Like
Midwest.
Midwest. So you get cold. It gets
Yes.
cold for you.
Yeah. Not often, but it does.
How do you do your produce in the winter? How do you grow stuff? Do you have like a greenhouse type growing for the winter?
Yes. Yes. There's a greenhouse. I start the plants off really small in the house until they get big enough to put them outside. I do canning. I don't know if you know anything about canning, but they can last for pretty much ever. um, yes. Trying to figure out, what did I miss?
Okay, so what was it that made you want to do? Because off grid is something I've always been interested in, but I want to have like a full self-sustaining farm. So I've done some of the research into it. But having my daughter and the age she's at now is not the time for me to try that, because it'll just be a battle that's not worth it. She's 14. Like, I can't take her from the comforts of all this and throw her into that. Now, if I decide that I'm going to do this when she graduates, which is a huge possibility, and she wants to join me and stuff, that's fine. She wants to visit, that's fine. She wants to come and live with me, that's even better. But I know that while she's in high school, I'm kind of stuck where I'm at. But it's definitely something that I've always wanted, but I feel like I would want to be somewhere where it doesn't get cold. I don't want to have to be dealing with the snow and all of that stuff. What I want chickens. I want chickens so bad. I want to go pick my own eggs.
There's so nasty.
They are gross. Chickens are gross, but there's nothing better than a fresh egg.
Yes. I had 4 chickens originally. I had Rhode Island Reds, but they started attacking my new chickens, so I had to give them to a friend of mine because I can't have that.
Right.
Right now I have 10 egg layers and 11 meat chickens, and I've actually gotten, I have like 5 dozens of eggs these past 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
That's
But
awesome. I don't know. I would have to have a butcher. I don't think I could do that part. Meat chickens, I could raise them, but I couldn't. And
it's
up
so
until
hard, especially being an animal lover, because you're like, no. But
but you
after
know what
doing
you're
it,
eating. You
yes,
know what is in the food that you're eating. And I had a hard
exactly.
time accepting that part of the self-sustaining farm was raising animals for that purpose. And I really did. I went back and forth on that. But then I'm obsessed with the show Down to Earth on Netflix. Like I'm obsessed with it. It's crazy. But they asked this, she was an Australian and she's got a fully self-sustaining farm, fully organic, everything, the rotations and all the stuff. Like I learned a lot from her, and it made me start researching a lot more about proper farming so that you're not killing the ground, which is what a
Yeah.
lot of farmers are doing. And I don't know that all of them fully realize it. They should by now, but I know they didn't for a long time. But she said, she goes, when people ask me, how can you eat an animal you raised or one that you know? And she goes, how can you not? She goes, I know everything that goes into these animals. She goes, I know exactly what I'm eating. She goes, I know that there's nothing in it that's going to, that's going to have a negative effect. So like for me, I was like, well, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I mean? And so for that, I was like, okay, I could raise them. But I don't think I mean, maybe because I know if it was life or death and I was stuck in the woods, I would do what I had to do to survive. I would figure it out. But I think my first couple times, I think I'll struggle. I think I will really
Best
struggle.
thing to do is to not grow a bond with them. Like
Don't name them.
yeah, don't name them. Don't grow a bond with them. Like don't go out there, pet them every day and because I done that and that was terrible. I haven't done that with the animals I eat, but like my dogs, I couldn't imagine killing them. Like I just can't do that.
Well, there's certain, you know what I mean? There's
yeah, there's a line I can't cross right there. But to answer your question, what made me choose to go this way is I'm tired of spending money. I want to live free. I don't want the way our world trains you to work is to basically, like what you guys were saying earlier, to be a slave to the government. You're paying everybody else while you're not going anywhere. Like you're staying right here. Like the money will never stay in your pockets. You will never be happy where you are because you constantly have to worry about this and that. The past few years with the whole stuff I've been learning about everything that's in the food at the grocery stores, like anything in the middle aisles is just trash for you. All of it. On the outside, the most expensive parts of the food is the only food you can actually eat and not worry about it giving you any type of what. But
I say it all the time, and I use tomatoes and pasta for a reference. Why is it that a can of pasta costs the same as one tomato?
Yep.
Because they know that can of pasta is going to make you sick and then need pharma.
Exactly. I've been getting into learning how to make everything homemade, like completely from scratch. Like I started making my first sourdough last week. I failed, but
let me know how you do it when you're successful. Sourdough is not a bread I've tried. I've done biscuits and I've got the biscuits down and I've got like basic bread recipes, but and I can make I make really good pasta. I make good noodles, fresh noodles. Yeah. But I have not had the balls to try sourdough yet.
Yeah, I want to try to know everything because I don't want to rely on the internet and everything to give me the information I want. I want to just know the things so I could just, hey, I feel like making some bread, so I'm gonna go do that.
Right. Was there any books you found that helped you, or was all your research online?
Well, I have this book. Hold on.
You see I see books all the time on different apps about survival guides and holistic healing and and I would really.
This book right here, it teaches you a little bit about everything. It's the first book and only book I have. Most of it I do on the internet. I work so much I could barely have time to read, if you want me to be honest with you. But that book has actually taught me a lot of things that I haven't seen on the internet yet, and I think it's fascinating. I have this notebook that I'm writing all of different types of spices and seasonings and and stuff like that. How to make herbs to like basically like medicine at home medicine. Because if the internet ever crashes, I have all these things, you know.
That's my fear is like, and I know that I probably shouldn't have some of the most real ridiculous fears that I have, but if it's in a book, you can't, that's not going to be gone from me, right? Like, unless somebody literally comes to my house and robs me for a book, I'm going to have that book in my hands. But if Google goes down, I'm not going to have access to any answers of the things I need. So, but I haven't quite figured out what book is the best or what you know what I mean? Like, I haven't deep dived into that. But that one, the homesteading one, I like. The heirloom, was it called heirloom?
Yes. Learn about water, solar, food. Also, I live in a camper. I don't pay rent on a property that I own, just taxes, but I don't think you're ever going to get away from that. I think I missed that part. I don't know if I said that. But all the books, learn as much as you can. That's what I'm doing. I'm still new. I don't know everything, but I'm trying to, you know, so I can help other people that want to know how to just live free. And I've also never went hunting yet, and I'm actually kind of scared because I still don't like, you know, hurting animals, but it's part of life. I mean, we eat the animals at the grocery store, so why not?
I honestly can't say I haven't been hunting now, guys.
You have?
You count bow fishing?
Yeah.
I actually hit a fish with a bow. I was like, what? On a moving canoe. I did a bow and arrow and I got the fish. It was a big old fish. It was a carp, a big old carp. We didn't eat it or anything. We were trying to get them out of the pond because they're invasive.
Yeah.
And they were starting to damage and ruin all the stuff for all the other fish and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I do fishing, and I've brought home and eaten some of what I've caught for that, but I've never gone deer hunting or a rabbit, or I've never done any of that. Only fish.
Have you ever tried deer?
I don't like deer. I do not like it at all.
It tastes like a roast to me. I don't know.
It's the gamey, the after texture, like where I feel like I got the sand in my mouth, kind of, or whatever. I can't get over the after. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never tried the back strap. I've tried all of it. Now I can, if you put the deer in chili. Some of my favorite chilies are with deer meat.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I would put it in chili. That actually sounds pretty good.
Some of my favorite chilies have deer meat in it and beans and whatever. But it's I that's the only way that I've found that I like it. Now don't get me wrong, if I'm out in the woods and I'm stranded and I see a deer and I can get it and I'm gonna die if I don't eat it, I'm gonna eat the damn deer. And I'm gonna fuck it up buttercup through the taste that I don't like because it's survival. But for me, I haven't gone deer hunting because I'm not gonna eat it, so I'm not gonna unalive it just to unalive it.
Right. Yeah. I haven't tried rabbit. I tried deer. I love chicken. Everyone says rabbit is so good. I have rabbits. I'm honestly just scared to eat them.
Yeah. Rabbit is unfortunately good. I know, they're cute. Rabbit stew. My dad made rabbit stew, and it's pretty good. I've had duck. It's very greasy, but I don't mind the taste of it at all.
I never tried duck, but their eggs are delicious.
Duck eggs are good.
Yes.
They're really good. I've tried alligator. It's like chewy chicken. It's like tastes like chicken, but has a texture of calamari.
Huh.
It's like I've tried a lot of things, but for me, the only thing I've been able to unalive myself have been the fish, because I'll eat the fish.
Yeah.
I don't know how to cook rabbit. I don't know how to cook deer. I would learn, and I'm pretty sure that I watch on all them survival shows. They just open flame. There it is, you know. But I'm not at that point where I have to, you know. But again, I think that once you get out there, and I think a lot of it too is I'm so used to the processed foods that when it's really good food, natural food, I don't like it because I'm so used to McDonald's or
So, just a little insight. I would eat fast food and all those types of things, like little fast foods that are in the boxes that are frozen. You just put in the microwave and heat up. Since I've been eating like all natural food, if I go to Taco Bell or something, I get so sick, like immediately. Like I just can't eat any of the processed food. It's actually kind of scary. Like how the heck was I eating this stuff before and being perfectly fine? I just can't do it anymore. I think that's just from having the processed stuff basically removed out of my body for so long. It's just, I
well,
just
and
can't.
I ran a farmer's market, so I ate really good for a couple years, and
Mhm.
I did not eat out fast food a whole lot. And
Yeah.
when I would, like you said, I'd get sick. But now, for whatever reason, I ate myself through that feeling, and I'm back to being able to eat it. And then it's not that instant like stomach ache,
Yeah.
but I'm sluggish. I have no energy. I'm cranky. I can't sleep right. I'm swollen. I'm bloated. And I know that all I have to do is eat better and I'm going to feel better, but McDonald's drive-throughs quicker.
Yeah.
It's easier to bring something home
Everyone
from work.
wants the most convenient way to go about things. That's why off-grid living is not for the weak. I mean, if you can't dedicate your life to this, because it is a whole lifestyle. Like you're not gonna be working at a job. I mean, I do because I need to afford everything else. I'm not fully off grid, but if you can't dedicate yourself to taking care of these animals and doing all the food and the canning, and if something goes wrong with the water, you have to fix that. Like it's life. Like once you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah.
But once you learn everything about it, because Ruthless actually told me about this, the one in the comments, he actually showed me about this lifestyle. And he told me, he was like, once you learn about it, you're never going to want to go back and you're going to be so confused on how you lived before. Like $1,500 paychecks every 2 weeks and you're paying $900 in rent and water and utilities. And now I don't have to pay for any of that. And it's crazy. It's so crazy.
It's
I recommend it though to
I
everybody.
think I think that if more people had the mindset and the drive to work that hard, that the rest of the world, like, they wouldn't be able to corrupt us. Like, I don't think people realize that what we're putting in our body in America, anyways, not necessarily across the world, but definitely in the USA, what most people put into their body is slowly harming us.
Hmm.
And it's making us get sicker. I mean, if you look, and I know people go, oh, it's technology and oh, it's this and blah. No, the amount of children now with diabetes, the amount of adults with the type 2 diabetes, the high cholesterol, the this, and then now you take a medication for whatever's wrong with you, but that causes a side effect. So then you need another medication to alter that side effect, but then that one throws off another side effect. So now you have another one. When all you had to do is eat organic vegetables and limit your protein, healthy protein. And most of us will have 98% less problems.
Hmm. Yep.
But the government doesn't want us to see that because then we all live off of our own money and for our own causes and not theirs.
Exactly. It's all about the money. That's all it is. Everything is about the money. It's quite sad actually, because the government's supposed to be on our side.
I
Yeah.
I I really hope that things get better because I know there's a lot of us that are tired of working 7 days a week to live. If I'm working 7 days a week, I should have a hefty savings account, but I don't.
Yeah, that part.
You know what I mean?
That
Like
part.
I make decent money, but I'm still barely getting by.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, it's
Makes you think that you need a college degree to be able to make more money, and that's not true.
look, I am a server in a restaurant and I make more money than people I know with 4-year degrees.
Yep. And now other people are in debt for having to pay for all of those degrees. I want to become an emergency travel nurse, but I'm trying to do it the least most expensive way possible. There's a
Right.
nursing home around me where they'll pay for me to work there and get my certifications and whatnot all the way to become an RN. And and they have like a bridge program will help me pay for my bachelor's degree. I'm trying to go into this the most least expensive way possible because college is freaking expensive. That's why I never wanted to do it. I was like, no, there's other jobs where I could do where I can make a living and not have to go in debt 300 grand.
But Ruthless, you got to understand, most people don't really understand how bad it really is. You've got to understand that most people still live thinking they can trust everything around them. It is not their fault that they're good-hearted people. It took me a long time and a lot of really bad things to happen before I started to realize and open my eyes to the changes I could make. So if you're going to say that and truly mean it, then I am a terrible parent. I'm a freaking horrible parent. Because my son's entire growing up is fast food.
Everyone is programmed to believe and go a certain way with life, only to be a slave to the government. That's it. Like, they know everything that's going on. They just don't care.
Yeah. And even now I have my daughter, and I know, even knowing what I know, we still eat out once a week.
Oh, I still go to the Mexican restaurant.
Sometimes more.
Don't get me wrong. I still go to the Mexican restaurant. I love some chorizo and steak tacos.
But we eat most of our food. We eat the last 6 months we've both been eating a whole lot of crap. But that's because, I'm sorry, but 7 days a week working, I'm freaking tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend an hour cooking and 20 minutes cleaning up. I don't.
Yep.
I want to come home, sit on my couch, put my feet up, and wish I had someone to rub my legs, but I don't. So I'm just going to sit on my couch with my achy legs. Yep. But I don't want to stand there and cook a meal, So I try to meal prep. I try to overcook, but then it sits in my fridge and goes bad before I eat it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's hard to break that cycle and to keep it going when we have so many options that are easier.
Convenient.
Regardless of how bad they are, we generally pick the easier way out because that's, a human doesn't want to struggle.
Exactly. No one wants to go the hard way. Nobody. There's very few that choose to go the hard way for the right reasons. I didn't want to go the hard way. I like going to McDonald's and just getting a McChicken and fry and be perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't like the hard way. I still don't, but it's better. And I learned
you'll be here longer to enjoy more things if you're good to your body. Mm-hmm. We only get one body and we get one life. And a lot of us, myself included, need to wake up and start treating it better.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. No, I agree.
100%. Well, we blew through that. See, it was easy. Guys, if you haven't done so already, please favorite Baby Doll. You're watching Lessons Learned. I'm Silly Lily, and we're more or less with her talking about how she made the choice to live off grid. And that is something I want, my own self-sustaining farm one day. So for me, I'm like, sorry y'all if I bored you, but I was like asking questions because I genuinely I want to learn. I would love to do this. I almost wish,
but I try.
I almost wish that they had places where you could go and learn, right? Like, you've done this, you've got this spot. Now I'm going to stay with you for 30 days. I'm going to pay you to teach me how to do this. Like, that's what I want. I want the hands-on. I don't care how much I read it or I watch it on YouTube. I watch you once, you watch me once, and then the third time you kind of just let me do it. If I have questions, just be close, right? But mostly
right there.
That's my process, right?
It's like $1 million idea right there. Just start a business teaching people how to live off grid. Look at you. You're so smart.
I mean, for me, it's the hands-on. And then on top of it, it really, because everyone goes, oh, I can do that. I can wake up every day and feed the chickens and get the pig and the cows, and I can get them out to pasture, and I'm going to bathe the horses, and I'm going to get all the eggs from the chickens, and then I'm going to take care of all the house. Like, you guys do not understand the amount of work that goes into a homestead is a lot. And that is why, as a single person with a kid who works 7 days a week, it is not an option for me right now.
Yep.
It's not.
I want to wait till I'm fully off grid and financially stable enough to have a kid, and I want to raise them into that lifestyle so they don't end up becoming slaves to everyone else, and they know the right way to go, and then they could just keep passing it on over and over and over again. And hopefully there's not that one, butt face that just decides, no, I want to go this route,
Well, of course you're going to have one rebellion. If you have more than one kid, you're definitely going to get a rebellious one. I was a rebellious child. My son was my rebellious child. My daughter, she is mouthy. I have no idea where she gets that from, but but I taught her to be independent and outspoken. I told her not to bury her things, so she doesn't. And as mom, I'm like, oh, this is so hard. But I know that that's going to make her stronger when she's older.
Yeah.
So suck it up, buttercup. All right, so baby doll, before I let you go, tell these folks, when do you stream? What are your streams like? And do you have any other events coming up?
I don't do any events. I mean, I'm still kind of new. I've only been on here for about 3 weeks now. I usually, huh?
Auction, it's in your name.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's my first auction. This is my first time doing this. This is new. But yes, I have an auction tomorrow at 9:05 p.m. I believe that's Eastern time.
Okay.
I usually go on stream later at night once I get off work. 'Cause I work a construction job. I wake up, drink my coffee, go to work, come home, and get on stream. Except on Tuesdays, I have fire meetings. But I usually, I talk to people. I have the date box up for a while. Get to know some people some more. I do some battles here and there. I have these card games that I play, like trivia, or not. Yeah, I think it's trivia. Trivia, and just questions to ask people, and they love that. And that's about it.
Nice. So tomorrow, 9:05, guys. Unfortunately, I will still be at work tomorrow at 9:05. But if you can make it, go spam her emojis and just be their supporter for her first event, guys. Again, thank you. Great topic. And I'm not going to lie, I'll probably be in your stream. Like, hey, I got a question. I read this. I looked up that. Is it?
I'm all for it. If I know the answer, I'll give it to you.
All right. I will let you go again. Thank you so much. Have a good one. That was a good show. Hi, Tess. Now there was like 50 things I wanted to respond to when the show was over, and I can't remember any of them. I mean, there's some I remember, but Jay kicked all of them out, so I can't yell at him now. I know. God, you ruined the after show fun. I like to make people eat their own words when they say stupid things. And I'd say I win like 99.9% of the time. 20, yeah, KD with the jet in the middle of the show. Like, thank you. Holla. Alexa, play music from 2000s. Music from 2000s.
The station, all 2000s, on Amazon Music.
You know I can't. I'm like, and then I can't think. I'm literally, my brain goes numb. I think I did pretty good. I kind of ignored it, stopped for a second, was able to get back on track. But there's a lot of times you guys throw a gift like that, and I don't even remember what I was just talking about. You know? Big Shimmer's talking down. Girl. The hell were they saying? Like what? I wish I would have been there. Insecurities, girl. Hurt people. They see you. Listen, okay, listen. Here's what happened, okay? Are you ready? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. You're a badass bitch working a badass job. You're kicking ass at what you do. You have started an entirely new way of life that 90% of us are too afraid to even think to start. You are intimidating as hell to your basic bitches out there. Period. If they got to come in and tear you down for doing what you love, that's because they're too afraid to do it for them damn self, honey. Period. Period. You're gorgeous. You're motivated. You got your own shit going on. You work construction. So do I. So I know how freaking hard that is. I'm a server right now because I had helped take care of my grandma because she needs me because she's 94 and we don't want her in a nursing home. But I did. I drywall, tile, roofing, siding, gutters. I've done it all. I can do it all. But if they're going to come at you, it's because they see that you have far more potential than they could ever have, and they're going to try to scare you off. So just remember they're jealous of you. Just tell them, you know what, honey, I'll pray for you. I'm sorry you're hurt. You know what I mean? Just, I'm sorry. You've got to learn to roll with it and make it known that it doesn't bother you. Oh yeah, shoot, hold on, let me get it. Alexa, shut up.